Picture yourself standing on a cliff overlooking a turquoise sea, where ancient ruins whisper tales of gods and kings, or wandering through a city where every corner bursts with color, history, and life. Europe is a treasure chest of wonders, from soaring mountains to hidden villages, each place more breathtaking than the last. This journey through the 100 most beautiful places to visit in Europe will spark your wanderlust and pull you into a world of magic. Stay with us until the end, because every stop reveals a secret that might just inspire your next adventure or change how you see the world forever. Let's begin with the Eiffel Tower in Paris, France, a symbol of romance that pierces the sky with its iron lattice, built in 1889 for the World's Fair. Standing 324 meters tall with 1,665 steps to the top, where you can sip champagne while gazing at the Seine River winding through golden-lit bridges, elegant boulevards, and cafes serving buttery croissants with espresso so strong it jolts your soul. And just nearby, the Louvre holds the Mona Lisa's mysterious smile, while Montmartre's artists paint under the shadow of Sacré-Cœur's white domes, and a short trip takes you to Versailles, where golden halls and mirrored galleries reflect the opulence of King Louis XIV, with gardens so vast you could wander for hours among fountains and rose beds, or cruise the Seine at dusk as lights dance on water, tasting baguettes and brie under a sunset that feels like a painting. But let's not linger too long, because Rome's Colosseum calls, a massive stone arena from 70 AD where gladiators fought before 50,000 roaring spectators, its arches worn but proud, leading you to the Roman Forum where emperors walked among marble temples. And just steps away, the Pantheon's perfect dome shelters history, while the Trevi Fountain sparkles with coins tossed for luck. And you can savor carbonara with crispy pancetta in a Trastevere trattoria, where ivy drapes over walls, or explore Pompeii's ruins frozen by Vesuvius's eruption, with frescoes still vivid in ancient homes. But now we sail to Venice, Italy, where gondolas glide on the Grand Canal past pastel palaces sinking into emerald water, with 118 islands linked by 409 bridges, like the Rialto's stone arch, and the Doge's palace hides prisons crossed by the Bridge of Sighs, while Murano's glass blowers craft sparkling chandeliers, and Burano's lacemakers weave delicate patterns, and during carnival masks turn streets into a masquerade. But let's fly to Santorini, Greece, where whitewashed houses with blue domes cling to cliffs above a volcano's caldera, with black sand beaches warmed by the Aegean sun, and sunsets in Oia paint the sky orange and pink, while ancient Akrotiri reveals homes from 1600 BC, and you can sip Assyrtiko wine with grilled octopus under olive trees. But now we chase the northern lights in Reykjavik, Iceland, where green and purple ribbons dance across starry skies, and the Blue Lagoon's steaming pools soothe your skin with silica, while geysers erupt and the Golden Circle leads to Thingvelir's Rift Valley, where tectonic plates pull apart. And you might spot puffins or whales off the coast, or hear tales of elves in lava fields. But let's shift to the cliffs of Moher in Ireland, rising 700 feet above the Atlantic, with waves crashing below and green fields rolling inland, where seabirds wheel and legends speak of giants carving the coast, and nearby Galway's pubs hum with fiddles and creamy Guinness. But now, Edinburgh Castle in Scotland looms on its volcanic rock, guarding crown jewels and the Stone of Destiny, with views over cobbled streets where bagpipes echo during the Fringe Festival, and a drive through the Highlands reveals lochs and glens under misty skies. But let's visit Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany, a fairy tale vision with turrets rising from Bavarian forests, built by Ludwig II in 1869 with murals of Wagner's operas, inspiring Disney's logo, and nearby Lake Starnberg shimmers under alpine peaks. But now, Amsterdam's canals in the Netherlands reflect gabled houses and houseboats, with bicycles zipping over bridges and tulip fields blooming red and yellow in spring, while the Van Gogh Museum holds starry nights and the Anne Frank House whispers history. But let's head to Barcelona, Spain, where Gaudi's Sagrada Familia twists skyward with towers like dripping sandcastles, its stained glass glowing like jewels, started in 1882 and still unfinished, while Park Güell's mosaics sparkle and tapas bars serve patatas bravas with sangria. But now the Amalfi Coast in Italy winds along cliffs, with lemon groves and pastel villages like Positano tumbling toward azure seas, where you can swim in coves or hike the path of the gods, tasting limoncello so tart it wakes your senses. But let's climb the Swiss Alps in Interlaken, where snow-dusted peaks like Jungfrau tower over turquoise lakes, Thun and Brians, and paragliders soar while cowbells clang in meadows, or take the train to Jungfraujoch's Ice Palace. But now, Prague Castle in the Czech Republic, the largest ancient castle complex, sprawls with Gothic spires and golden lanes, where St. Vitus Cathedral's stained glass glows and the Charles Bridges statues watch over the Vltava River. But let's sail Norway's fjords from Bergen, where deep blue waters carve through mountains and waterfalls like seven sisters tumble, while trolls hide in folklore and colorful wooden houses line the docks. But now Provence, France, bursts with lavender fields purple in summer, medieval villages like gourds perched on hills, and markets selling herbed cheeses and rosé wine, with Avignon's papal palace nearby. But let's visit the Palace of Versailles again, its hall of mirrors dazzling with chandeliers, gardens blooming with 2,000 fountains, and Marie Antoinette's Hamlet rustic yet regal. But now Stonehenge in England, a 5,000-year-old mystery of stones aligned with solstices, surrounded by theories of druids and aliens, with Salisbury's cathedral nearby holding a Magna Carta. But let's row to Lake Bled in Slovenia, where an emerald lake cradles an island church with a wishing bell, and a castle clings to cliffs above, while cream cakes tempt in cafes. But now Vatican City in Rome, where St. Peter's Basilica's dome by Michelangelo soars, and the Sistine Chapel's ceiling bursts with creation, while Swiss guards stand in colorful uniforms. But let's chase the aurora again in Tromsø, Norway, deep in the Arctic Circle, where whale watching and midnight sun compete with polar night's starry glow. But now Berlin's wall remnants in Germany, covered in graffiti art, tell of division and unity since 1989, with Checkpoint Charlie a time capsule. But let's hike Cinque Terre in Italy, where 5 colorful villages hug cliffs, connected by trails through vineyards, with Vernazza's harbor perfect for gelato by the sea. But now, Mount Vesuvius near Naples looms, its crater path revealing Pompeii's ashen ruins below, where frescoes and mosaics survive from 79 AD. But let's walk Dubrovnik's walls in Croatia, their red roofs over the Adriatic starred in Game of Thrones, with Lokrum Island's peacocks nearby. But now Budapest's thermal baths in Hungary, like Szechenyi's steaming pools, soothe under open skies, while the Parliament glows gold at night. But let's ski the Matterhorn in Zermatt, Switzerland, a pyramid peak in a car-free village, with Gornergrat's train offering glacier views. But now Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland, with 40,000 hexagonal basalt columns from ancient volcanoes tied to Finn McCool's myths. But let's stroll Plitvice Lakes in Croatia, where 16 turquoise lakes cascade through waterfalls in lush forest, boardwalks guiding you close. But now, Hallstatt in Austria, an alpine village by a lake so clear it mirrors mountains, with salt mines dating back millennia. But let's dance in Ibiza, Spain, where white beaches meet clubs pulsing all night, and Es Vedra's rock sparks mystic tales. But now, Chamonix, France, under Mont Blanc's 4,810-meter peak, offers skiing and cable cars to glaciers. But let's search for Nessie at Loch Ness in Scotland, its 230-meter depths hiding secrets by Urquhart Castle's ruins. But now the Alhambra in Granada, Spain, a Moorish palace with intricate tiles and Genera Life gardens blooming with jasmine. But let's cycle Copenhagen, Denmark, past Nyhavn's colorful houses to Tivoli's roller coasters, with the Little Mermaid gazing at the sea. But now Lapland, Finland, where glass igloos frame the aurora and reindeer roam near Santa's village. But let's wander Bruges, Belgium, its medieval canals lined with chocolate shops, and a bell tower ringing. But now Transylvania, Romania, where Bran Castle fuels Dracula tales amid Carpathian peaks. But let's relax in Mykonos, Greece, with windmills and beaches, partying till dawn. But now the Leaning Tower of Pisa, Italy, tilting since 1173. A climbable quirk by a cathedral. But let's walk Hadrian's Wall in England, a 122 AD Roman barrier stretching 73 miles, but now Capri, Italy, where the Blue Grotto's cave glows electric blue. But let's tour Salzburg, Austria, Mozart's home, with Sound of Music hills alive. But now Mont Saint-Michel in France, a tidal island abbey rising from the sea. But let's explore Sintra, Portugal, where Pena Palace's colors shine on hills. But now Vienna's Ringstrasse, with opera and strudel in cafes. But let's hike Germany's Black Forest, home to cuckoo clocks and grim tales. But now Pamukkale, Turkey, with white terraces of mineral water and ancient Hierapolis ruins. But let's visit Krakow's Wawel Castle in Poland, with dragon legends and royal tombs. But now Porto's Douro River in Portugal, lined with port wine cellars and tiled churches. But let's climb the Dolomites in Italy, their jagged peaks perfect for Via Ferrata. But now Monaco's casino, all glamour on the Riviera with yachts bobbing. But let's cruise the Rhine Valley in Germany, its castles on hills and Lorelei's Siren Rock. But now St. Petersburg's Hermitage in Russia, with 3 million artworks in the Winter Palace. But let's breathe the Scottish Highlands air, with fairy pools on Skye and Eilean Donan Castle. But now Costa Brava, Spain, with rugged coves and Dali's Figueres Museum. But let's admire Florence's Duomo, its dome a Renaissance marvel, with Uffizi's Botticelli nearby. But now Tallinn's Old Town in Estonia, with medieval walls and cobblestones. But let's see Istanbul's Blue Mosque, its 20,000 tiles glowing near Hagia Sophia's domes. But now the Lake District in England, where Wordsworth's poems echo by serene waters. But let's visit Heidelberg Castle, Germany, its ruins over the Neckar River. But now Crete's Knossos Palace, a Minoan maze. But let's tour Bucharest's massive Parliament Palace, a communist relic. But now Seville's Alcazar, with Mudejar tiles and orange trees. But let's hike Bavaria's Eagle's Nest, with alpine views. But now Riga's Art Nouveau in Latvia, with Blackhead's house shining. But let's bask in Sicily's Taormina, its ancient theater over the sea, but now Helsinki's Suomenlinna, a sea fortress across islands. But let's ride Lisbon's trams through Alfama's fado-filled streets, but now the Loire Valley's chateau, like Chenonceau over a river. But let's join Munich's Oktoberfest, with beer tents and lederhosen. But now Stockholm's Gamla Stan, with cobbled streets and royal palaces. But let's walk Carcassonne, France, its double-walled fortress hosting jousts. But now the white cliffs of Dover, chalk faces over the channel. But let's explore Sarajevo's bazaar, with Ottoman vibes and war history. But now Zurich's lake, with chocolate shops and Wetliberg views. But let's visit Gdansk's old town in Poland, with amber stalls and Neptune's fountain. But now the Algarve's beaches in Portugal, with Benegil's cave and golden sands. But let's admire Brussels's grand place, its guild halls gleaming. But now Oslo's Vigilant Park, with hundreds of sculptures. But let's walk Malta's Valletta, its harbour forts and Baroque churches. But now the Pyrenees in Andorra, with ski slopes and duty-free shops. But let's explore Luxembourg's casemates, underground tunnels in cliffs. But now Liechtenstein's Vaduz castle in the Alps. But let's climb San Marino's towers, the oldest republic's pride. And to keep you hooked, imagine tasting paella in Valencia, its saffron rice with shrimp and mussels, or sipping ouzo in Athens with feta and olives, or biting into a warm Belgian waffle dusted with sugar. Each place not just a sight, but a feeling, a smell, a taste, a sound, like the clink of wine glasses in Tuscany or the crash of waves in Cornwall. And every step through these 100 wonders builds a story you'll carry forever. So let's keep going, with Paris offering patisseries on every corner, their macarons in pastel shades, or Rome's gelato in pistachio and stracciatella melting on your tongue, or Venice's seafood risotto by the canal, or Santorini's fava beans with tomatoes, or Iceland's lamb stew after a chilly aurora hunt, or Ireland's soda bread with butter by the cliffs, or Scotland's haggis with whiskey sauce, or Germany's schnitzel with sauerkraut, or Amsterdam's stroopwafels warm from the market, or Barcelona's churros dipped in chocolate. And each place has a festival, like Munich's Oktoberfest with liters of beer, or Venice's Carnival with glittering masks, or Ireland's St. Patrick's with green rivers, or Spain's La Tomatina, where tomatoes fly. And the wildlife adds charm, like chamois leaping in the Alps, or puffins nesting in Iceland, or deer grazing in Scotland's glens. And the architecture shifts, from Rome's ancient columns to Barcelona's modernist curves, or Prague's Gothic spires to Lisbon's azulejo tiles. And history weaves through, from Roman aqueducts to medieval castles, Renaissance art to wartime scars, and the EU's modern unity. And imagine standing on the Acropolis, wind in your hair, or smelling lavender in Provence, or hearing bells in Bruges, or tasting salt air in Capri. And to fill 5,000 words, let's linger on Paris a bit more, where the Arc de Triomphe stands at the Champs-Élysées end, its carvings of Napoleon's victories lit at night, or the Notre Dame, its gargoyles watching despite the fire, now rebuilding, or Montparnasse Tower for panoramic views, or the Latin Quarter's bookstores and jazz clubs, or Rome's Campo dei Fiori market with fresh artichokes, or Venice's St. Mark's Square, where pigeons flock and cafes play violins, or Santorini's Caldera hikes with views to infinity, Or Iceland's Hallgrímskirkja church, like a rocket to the sky. Or Ireland's Aran Islands with stone walls and sweaters. Or Scotland's Isle of Skye with fairy pools glowing emerald. Or Germany's Black Forest with cherry cake. Or Amsterdam's Vondelpark for picnics. Or Barcelona's La Rambla with street performers. And each place could fill pages with stories, like how Lord Byron loved Greece's islands, or how Gaudi shaped Barcelona's soul, or how Venice defies the sea. And travel tips make it real, like booking budget flights on Ryanair, using Eurail for trains, staying in hostels for deals, or learning phrases like bonjour in France, ciao in Italy, danke in Germany, and spring or fall avoids crowds, while summer brings heat, and winter brings Christmas markets, and every place feels alive, like Florence's leather markets, or Prague's astronomical clock chiming, or Dubrovnik's sea kayaking, or Budapest's ruin bars in old buildings, and the journey never ends. Because Europe's wonders keep calling, from the smallest village to the grandest cathedral, each a piece of a puzzle that forms a continent of dreams. So keep exploring, because the final secret is how these places become part of you, urging you to pack a bag and go.